What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of SpeedSim. I'm E-House.
I'm Amy.
And today we're going to talk about, we're a little behind on this subject, I feel like, because...
It's like, what, almost 3 weeks ago?
I will admit the inspiration for this subject was the SpeedQB tournament.
That's the last one.
Yeah, and namely, some of the internet reactions to the SpeedQB tournament, and also some of the accusations from the SpeedQB tournament. Now, I'm not here to cast aspersions because I wasn't at the SpeedQB tournament.
Neither was I.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos. I watched some of the streams.
I watched a lot of the memes.
Yeah, we all saw a lot of the memes. But the particular topic I want to talk about, and that Amy also wants to talk about, is this is why in our video about why there's not more competitive airsoft, I believe we specifically said cash prizes are not a good idea for airsoft.
Yeah, that's not great.
And I think a lot of people might be learning that the hard way.
The real hard way.
Yeah. I have to say I am not a fan of the concept of having cash prizes for airsoft games.
No.
And the main reason is because it is so hard, generally speaking, to have a tournament that will be run well enough to truly satisfy the requirements of not having people get super salty over whatever the outcome is, and not throw accusations, and then, oh, these people cheated. Well, no shit, they cheated. There's money on the line. And then, well, these people cheated. No shit, there's money on the line. And it just becomes very... I don't want to use the word toxic, but I'm going to. It becomes toxic, and it becomes an environment where the goodwill of an airsoft community can no longer exist.
You can take all the steps into making it somewhat easy to detect whether or not someone gets hit. You can use tracer rounds, but not everybody has access to tracer rounds. They're not cheap. Some, like, even if you use the X-Quartec, the pistol version is $70.
Yeah, and tracer BBs and tracer rounds can malfunction, and there's all kinds of different considerations of that. Now, are tracers a good idea
100%.
for trying to have more competitive airsoft? I
100%.
think they are. But I still don't think they're foolproof enough to necessarily be a good idea to have cash prizes. I mean, even paintball has issues with cheating.
Yeah, you wipe it.
Yeah.
You can usually make it a little frozen.
Yeah,
So don't explode. I mean, there's a whole thing about it.
Or there's different jerseys and whatnot in paintball that kind of absorb paint. And so even paintball has had to find its own way of keeping the competitive scene competitive and, has its cash prize and whatnot. But if you notice, where's paintball? Paintball was on ESPN for a while.
Yeah.
Paintball was huge. And is paintball still big in its own right for its own thing?
Definitely.
Yes. But is paintball ever going to be an Olympic sport? Probably not. So I think to a certain extent, paintball kind of realized that they needed to tailor to the niche they were appealing to, and have been doing that.
Yep.
Now they've been thumbing their nose at the milsim community forever, hence why airsoft got big. but more for us.
Referees. I mean, I'm not saying that the referees there, had some sort of bias to one team or another, but, choosing the right referees might, help change the course of what team wins. I mean, some referees would just bat their eyelash and just turn away to see no hit calling. I mean, there's a whole thing about it.
Now, I did hear a rumor, apparently, and I think a lot of people have heard this rumor, that there was like so much cheating that referees just stopped even trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
And the problem is, then that would indicate that you need to pick referees who are strong-willed enough and, frankly, boneheaded enough to just want to wade in and get into the drama and say, hey, you didn't call your hit, that's a penalty, your whole team's out. But then everyone's going to throw accusations of, well, they weren't calling hits or they weren't calling hits. So you need to do it Philippines style, where a ref follows every player.
Yeah. Or gorilla. I mean, you can do that too, but that's not going to solve any problems.
Yeah, it's too tough to have airsoft games officiated and regulated to the point where you can always tell when someone's hit. Like, even football. Even football has like people who get mad about bullshit ref calls. And football is massive, and there are so many cameras on football, and even that is up to the mercy of how refs are officiating that day and how watchful they are, let alone airsoft.
Now, how can we fix these problems? Raffles.
I agree. I think that not having a direct cash prize for the winner and instead having like
Tickets.
raffle tickets or, raffle prizes at the end of the day, or an idea that I heard that I actually do like. Because people will cheat when they're going to get money in their pocket at the end of the game. I mean, shit. I'll be the first person to admit, I would be more tempted to cheat if I was going to get $500 after the game.
100%. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, I would be more tempted to cheat. And if you honestly think that you wouldn't be, you're lying. But an idea I heard is, okay, you don't get the $500. A charity of your choice gets the $500.
People will be less tempted, though.
People will be less tempted to cheat, and people will be like, hey, this is still kind of a spirit of the game, having a good time. Yes, we get a belt at the end and we get bragging rights, but they don't get any money.
Yeah.
It goes to a charity of their choice. Hopefully not a charity that they like work at or the CEO of, and that goes right into their paycheck or something, but that's a whole separate issue. I think the issue that you run into eventually too, and we were just having this conversation off camera, is everyone's using different equipment. People are using high kappas or rifles and whatnot, and all of those have different advantages and disadvantages that can alter the balance of a game. And, you might need to over-regulate to the point where the game is balanced enough to also be like every time someone wins, it was just their skill and not any cheating or some kind of weapon advantage or weapon problem or malfunction. And, if your gun goes down in the middle of a game where you've got not a ton of money. I mean, $500 is $500. It's not like a ton of money, but if your gun goes down in the middle of a game where you've got money on the line, maybe you'll drop your gun and be more tempted to cheat to still help your team and just like and run for the flag or human shield for one of your buddies while he runs for the flag or does something. And I actually can't think of an example of that I saw during the tournament, but I'm just using it as an example I'm thinking of someone trying to kind of cheese the meta a little bit. And if you got to the point where you were regulating the game so much that people couldn't do that, you kind of would lose what makes Airsoft, even SpeedSoft, Airsoft.
Yeah.
Because people like having their different guns, their different
colors.
setups, and their different colors, and their preferred magazines, their preferred loadouts. And if you started having so many regulations that everyone had to use effectively the same guns, effectively the same ammo, effectively the same loadouts, you kind of start losing the identity of Airsoft's kind of play it your way, even within the context of a SpeedQB format. You start losing that identity, and I don't think anyone wants that.
I mean, like I mentioned, they're trying to fight for the tracer units, but at the end of the day, cash prize is just a shitty idea.
Yeah, I don't think the cash prize was a good idea. I think that
I understand what they're going for, but it's a sport where you can barely tell a hit.
Yeah.
They're going at such high velocity, and they're so tiny, you can't really see that unless you have a tracer unit, like I mentioned.
Yeah, and you would need to have cameras all over, refs all over, and even then people wouldn't be satisfied with the officiation.
Exactly.
And people will probably say in our comments, well, the officiation at this was a mess. I don't know, I wasn't there. If it was, then maybe that was a big crux of the issue. But to be effectively better and good enough that I would be comfortable putting money on it is like... Yeah. So, I don't know. Those are our thoughts on the subject. Hopefully we didn't thoroughly piss anyone off too much.
We weren't there. We're just speaking on like comments that we've seen and things that we've talked about internally with the group. Cash prizes, like we mentioned in our competitive airsoft video, it's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's why you do raffles or charity or just a belt. I mean, just keep it easy so there's no cheating. I mean,
keep it something.
Cheating will happen inevitably, but...
Oh, it's part of Airsoft.
Yeah.
Everyone cheats, even at games where nothing is on the line.
Yeah.
Like, it takes nothing to make Airsofters cheat. Airsofters cheat because they feel like it. Yeah. Airsofters cheat because they think they can get away with it. Airsofters cheat because it's a 100-yard walk back to respawn.
Or even 5 feet.
Yeah. Like, Airsofters cheat. So trying to give cash incentive and then acting surprised when people cheat is like, Oh my God, what? All right. I think that's about it on this subject, though.
We hope this was informative. Maybe, have some talking points to your friends or just,
Or if you totally disagree with us and you have a completely different viewpoint on it, that's cool. Put it in the comments.
Yeah. Or if you were there.
Yeah, or if you were there and have more insight on it. Or, I mean, shit, I know some of the people from some of the teams who help admin this kind of stuff watch our videos sometimes. Yeah. So if you have an admin perspective on it, if you have something
I would actually really love that.
I would love to hear that. Yeah. I mean, frankly, I'd be down to invite you guys onto a podcast or something just to get that totally different perspective of it. This is just our thoughts and opinions, and we are totally down to have discourse on this because that's what we have fun with.
Yeah, exactly.
Play it your way.
Okay, Burger King. All right. We hope you enjoyed this, and we will catch you next time. My name is Amy.
And I'm E-House.
See ya.
Peace. Thank you for watching this video from Gun Gamers. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. Check the description below if you'd like to buy a t-shirt or a patch, and use the coupon code JUDY10 for 10% off of your next order at Amped Airsoft. Thank you again for watching, and praise Judy.